Alright everybody, welcome back. Quick video on this pipe and the mounting of the front. Makes it kind of hard because when you bolt the jet together to line up the turbine, there's no way to get in here and hard mount this front portion. And the instructions that they have for the manual for this this jet on SkyMaster's website is for a different pipe. So if you have any other pipe than the one that's in that manual, the measurements there don't line up. This was the provided mount that they had, and I guess the intent of it is to bolt up against this bulkhead here, but because of this pipe having to go so far back for that turbine, that just won't work. So I had to devise a way to get it lined up and get that mount secure. So I did make an alignment tool for the turbine, so that goes in, and then I would slide this on and it gives me the gap I need. It's going to be about a ½ inch or so gap, maybe less, maybe more, I can't tell, but that's as good as I'm going to get it for now. If there's any issues with it, I can always push the pipe back a little bit more. There is some room for adjustment with those tabs and everything. But that being said, I took some L brackets right there that they use for servos in the wings, and the bolts that hold the pipe, the bell mouth on the pipe, are like 3mm bolts, and those L brackets were already threaded for 3mm bolts. So what I did is just simply screwed the L bracket onto the existing bell mouth bolts. And what I'll do also is I'll put a bolt, like a lock nut, on top of that so it doesn't vibrate and strip and allow the bell or the pipe to come loose. And then I put the tail on, lined everything up inside the turbine, and I was real careful when I done that and had the pipe. It automatically lines up. Basically, this is the inside diameter of the pipe, so it pushes on. And then I took measurements of where the pipe is, like from the pipe against this back bell mouth all the way around it, to make sure it doesn't shift when I pull it off. I pull the tail off. So I pulled the tail back off, checked this to make sure it was still in place, and then I took measurements from the edge using these lines right here as a reference point on each side, top to bottom, you know, checking everything, and then I put the tail back on, checked it, it lined right up. It's a little high, maybe a millimeter or two, but what I can do now that I've got it hard mounted, I can just simply unscrew these two brackets about a millimeter and it'll lower that down. I haven't hard mounted the bottom yet, so I can, once I get the pipe up and down perfect, I'll just drill a hole and then use screws on the bottom. And so far it's working good. I put everything back on, checked it, it's good. So what I did is went ahead, and you can see where it sits on the bottom. I got some high saw there with an extra piece of ply on the front of it to kind of help secure it to the bottom. And there was a gap at the top, about 1/4 inch, because it didn't quite touch the outer skin, so I basically made an extension. It's kind of hard to see, an extension right there to extend it up to the outer skin. And if I ever need to make this removable, I can just simply cut straight across and make like a ply sandwich, or with some bolts to hold it, to make it removable. But you know, this can be permanent as long as you can remove the pipe from the support. You're good. So the pipe is removable, and with this set up like this, it allows you to completely take the tail off without disconnecting and taking the pipe out. I'm not going to cut the leads and put a splice here for the leads. What I'll do is just unplug them from the servos. Well, no, I can't do that. So yeah, I'm going to have to make a splice. So you can unplug the two leads going back to the servos, because what happens once you hook those up and you put the pipe in, you're not going to get back in there and unplug the servos to pull the to pull the tail apart. So it'll have to have a plug and a plug for the 2 wires going back to the tail, which are these things. There's going to be these here, and then the terminal boxes that I've showed you guys that clip onto these lines, and the servos plug into those, will be down in the tail. So the only thing you could do at that point would be to put one more clip right here. And what I can do is got some in here somewhere. Let's see. Oh, right here. Put a male, female on there, and or just any type of 3-prong connector. But that's it. It took forever to figure out a way to get that in there. I'm pretty happy with that. I like those L brackets because now, like I said, to get it, if it's off a little bit as far as alignment with the pipe and the turbine, you can adjust those L brackets by screwing them in and out on the threads for the bolts. So you can kind of move it around and get it perfect. But all I have to do on this one is drop it down just a hair, like maybe 2 millimeters, and it'll be right on the money. So that's how I'm doing it. It depends, like I said, it's all going to depend on what turbine size you have and what kind of pipe you got. And it's a pain to get this thrust vectoring just right. I think the problem is going to be one side is going to hit right here, which is this arm that extends out and connects to the rod for your, for this axis, your rudder axis. So what I could do is either reposition the rod out further, or just cut. I really don't want to cut a half moon there or anything, so I may just make a kind of like this one is. Move this rod here out to here. It's like a 4-layer piece right here. I tried to drill it before, but I'm gonna have to have a press to do this, or somehow get somebody to drill a hole to put one like this over here. With one of these right here, and cut this off, I won't have any problem hitting the pipe at that point. And I'm dead flush with the rear end of the jet. In some places, like the bottom's a little bit kind of recessed in, but that's what I got. Did have to trim about 2 inches off this pipe, but you can see it's still got a lip there. I don't know why they added that extension.